Hello everybody, welcome to a Wednesday afternoon live stream. We don't typically do these later in the afternoon, but such is the schedule as we careen towards Christmas. I feel like I'm on a collision course with it at this point. Welcome. We are going to do part 2 of our pet stocking today. Yesterday we got the toe, the main part of the foot, the heel, and half of the upper part done. I want to finish the upper part of the stocking, add the hanger, and maybe add some decorative trim, and then hopefully tomorrow we're going to create the little pocket. I wanted to make a pocket. This was the inspiration for the whole stocking. This is not the pocket, but the pocket will look like this. I'm still deciding on colors. More to come on that. If you missed yesterday's live stream part 1, this is the sketch that I'm working from. I'm sort of building this as we go here. The link to part 1 is in the description box down below. So part 1 of the pet Christmas stocking. If you missed it, you can catch up with it later. I'm using a size 6 bulky weight yarn. I'm using a 6.5 millimeter hook, also known as a K. And I'm going to just continue where we left off. A big thank you to Nico the Ninja, gifting in from the left or the right. I'm not sure which side she's swaying in from, but thank you, has gifted a membership. Congratulations to Mira who won it. Thank you, Nico. And welcome everybody. I have a hot cup of tea. Let's get into this stocking. I believe I got 13 rows into the upper part of my stocking past the heel yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 rows. So that means I have 12 more rows to do. I am crocheting in the round, which means I'm not joining rows with a slip stitch. I'm not chaining 1 to begin a new row. I'm just crocheting a single crochet into the single crochet from the row before, around and around and around. And that is going to continue to give me 32 stitches per row. So I am at a total of 32 stitches per row. And I want to do a total of 26 rows of just straight single crochet in my main stocking color, this green, after the last row of the heel. So this is the last row of the heel. I want 26 rows of straight single crochet. Really glad to see so many of you here. It's a Wednesday, middle of the week. So much going on this time of year. And I'm really grateful that so many of you can hang out with us. So if you're using the time to get a little bit of work done on your to-do list, or if you're crocheting along with me, fantastic. As always, make sure you keep an eye on our community tab. That is where we are going to continue to list information about our upcoming live streams this week. So if you want to know when it's coming, if we try to get the stream started a little ahead of schedule so that at least you should get a notification when we've created a stream or set a stream up. But we are also trying to kind of give you guys a heads up as we move through the week, just in case you've got a lot going on like so many of us do. And that's where we keep our information. We put our information in the community tab, and you'll find that if you click on our channel name, it'll take you to the home page. You'll see a bunch of tabs there, one of them called community, and if you click on that, it'll give you updates on what's going on. I hope everybody had a nice afternoon yesterday and a good evening, a stellar morning today. It's nice to be halfway through another week. I will say this though, it is kind of stunning to me that it is the 18th of December. I was just commenting to somebody over at the Etsy shop that I feel like December really snuck up on me this year. I feel like I was ambushed by it. Mr. InStitches managed to get Penny to lie down for a nap. So the puppy is asleep. We will see just how long that lasts. Hopefully at least an hour. I'd like it if we could get at least an hour's worth of work done on this stocking. I'm making notes as I go. I intend to have a full written tutorial or written pattern available in the Etsy shop later this week. If you want to pick up a copy of it, we'll let you know when it's there. And if you are a Silk or Vicuña member of our channel, we will have a written pattern for you guys available on the members only page. Right away, we already have the Fair Isle style paw print, which is this little thing, which is what I'm going to be turning making the pocket out of. And I think it was Debbie yesterday asked if I was going to put Penny's name and the year on it. And I think I'm going to do that. I would like to do that. I think that's a great idea. So I'm not quite sure yet how or where I'm going to do that because I haven't gotten that far along, but I'm going to complete the stocking and complete the pocket before I decide where I might add her name and the year. But I think that's a really great idea, and it's a nice opportunity to do a little embroidery or chain stitching or something. I'm not sure yet. So we'll see how it goes when we get there. We posted a bunch of pictures of everybody's sunburst table centerpieces. That was the live crochet we did on Monday. I made a table centerpiece using the sunburst round ripple baby blanket tutorial that we've got. And several of you also made doilies and table centerpieces with it. Nico made this super awesome boho wall hanging with hers. We put a post of about 5 of them on the community tab earlier today. So if you missed those, make sure you pop over and take a look at all that if you're looking for a little inspiration. That whole project took 2 hours. We did the whole thing in real time. It was a 2-hour live stream on Monday, and that centerpiece took 2 hours. So I also made a thread version of it. I got it finished earlier today, and I added a nice little finishing row to that. So 2 doilies. I got a doily and a table centerpiece made already this week. So that I feel pretty pleased with that kind of progress. And hopefully we will have a brand new pet stocking by the end of this week too. And once I've decided how the whole thing, once it's all come together and I've made my notes and written up the pattern, I am planning on making a couple more just like it, but in slightly different colors for my 2 furry little nieces. We have cats and dogs in the family, which is another reason I really like the idea of using the pet paw, the paw print. So the paw print makes a good little pocket on the stocking, and it makes it a sort of an appropriate pet stocking for cats or dogs. So I really like that. And there was a suggestion yesterday to make some Fair Isle images of reptiles, snakes, and chickens. I love that idea. I am going to try and dedicate some time to that soon, because I think that is, not everybody has a pet, a dog or a cat. A lot of people have birds, reptiles, snakes, iguanas. I've sort of seen everything, and a lot of people keep chickens. Chickens are so sweet. They actually make really good pets too. So we don't want to leave anybody out at this time of year. So I'm going to see about making some other fun little Fair Isle style imagery. I'm going to see what I can come up with anyway. I really like those ideas. Okay, I'm all the way back around to the beginning. I'm just going to take a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So this is row 19. I am starting row 20, which means I've got 6 rows left to go. I'm going to try and keep my yarn from tangling right at the end here. For some reason, oh, that's why. Aha, you go all the way through the middle. Well, not anymore. There we go. That solves that. So I'm zipping along here, crocheting relatively as quick as I can. The option to use a regular weight yarn was there. I usually do that, but I felt I had this beautiful, thick, bulky weight yarn. I thought it would be fun to make a nice sturdy stocking for the puppy. Not because I'm going to let her play with it necessarily, but because all of the treats and toys, Mr. InStitches picked up a bunch of those today, are kind of large packages. So I needed it to be big enough to be able to handle all the packages. And also sometimes packaging can be a little on the sharp side. So I wanted to make sure that you know, the stocking could accommodate it. Hello, Emily. Emily with a membership milestone. Emily's been a member for 67 months. Thank you so much, Emily. Emily says, I'd love to see a chicken egg apron pattern down the road. You know what? A lot of people have asked for that. And I've seen some really cute sewn versions of chicken egg gathering aprons. I think those are adorable. I have actually got it on my list of things to sort of consider crocheting. I have to give it some thought though, because I wouldn't want it to be too heavy. And I'd want to make sure that those pockets were sturdy enough that the eggs, you know, were going to be protected in them while you're kind of wandering around collecting. Love that idea. All right. So I think that was row 20. Once I get really kind of zipping along here, I can put in a couple more. I kind of lose track of how many rows I'm on. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pause. And if this is row 20, I'm going to put my stitch marker on it so that I don't have to keep counting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. See, look at that. I already did 20 and I completed row 21. I was not paying attention. So this is row 20. I'm going to put a little stitch marker right here. That indicates row 20. I've already done row 21. I've got to get all the way up to row 26 and then we're going to add the hanger. Super simple. And then you guys can help me pick some novelty yarn. In fact, you know what? We're going to do that right now. Now I think Mr. InStitches may or may not be able to put up a poll. So I'm going to just pull some yarn into down here into the, so this is the thing. And when I say novelty yarn, let me bring my picture in here. I was thinking I'd like sort of the cuff. I don't want to do a proper cuff. I thought it might be kind of fun to, well, it depends on what yarn I pick, but I thought it might be kind of fun to have like kind of an interesting, fluffy, I don't know, just sort of an interesting cuff on this to sort of make it look a little playful. And I've got a lot of novelty yarn in my stash, and this is kind of Christmas projects are one of the ways in which we can use those novelty yarns because they kind of give us a little bit of leeway to be a little bit fun, goofy. So with that in mind, I'm thinking for the edge of this stocking, I have, this is the right kind of, like if I'm going to kind of continue with a color scheme, this is some of that kind of boa yarn. This is probably my least favorite option, and I'll explain why in a minute. When you see the other ones, you'll probably understand. But you see, it's very skinny, so I'd have to use like a lot of it to get like something interesting going. And I don't know, it's a nice sort of color. Like it blends because it's sort of a set of like there's caramel, beige, kind of cream, white in there. So it blends, but it's just kind of thin. So there's that. And then I've got this purpley lavender burgundy pom-pom yarn, which is really crazy, but I thought it would be really cute and fun around the edge. And I actually like the colors of those pom-poms with that rich green and that soft white beige. So I kind of like that, but again, it's, you know, there's big spaces in between, and I've kind of tried crocheting with this before and it's a little bit weird, but I do like that color-wise and because it's kind of fun and weird. So that's the purple kind of pom-pom stuff. I have this is some old Martha Stewart craft yarn, Lofty Wool blend. I've been making all sorts of Christmas projects out of this stuff over the years. I made a bunch of really nifty wreaths from it a few years ago. And it's just, this is like technically jumbo yarn. This was labeled a 6 before they had the size 7 category. That's how old this is. And it's not the same green, but it's a lighter green, and I like that shade of green with this green. It's got some of the same hues in it, so I thought that might be kind of a fun thick edging. But you know, I don't mind 2 shades of green. I think that's kind of fun, and I might maybe mix it with some of the beige, so there's that option. And then I've got this. I've got some Patton's Cobbles, which is just like the strangest. I like the color, and it's a very strange kind of yarn. It's like, it looks like little miniature sausage links. But I thought that was a nice kind of a rose color, and that also blends rather nicely with that green. So I don't know. I've got some options. I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet. So if there's anything in particular you guys kind of like out of those 4, then let me know what you've got to say in the chat. Emily likes the rose with the green. I do too. I like that. Donna likes the eyelash. I feel like it's the right color, but it's so thin. I might have to pair it up with something else. Light green bulky, says Amanda. Masha likes the last one, that rose colored one. Okay, so that's row 20, row 21, row 22. I just finished row 22. Now I'm on to row 23. 4 more rows to complete. Colleen says the pom-pom or the last one. Yeah, I know. That's kind of like, it's that fun. Also, the color is like it's a nice difference. Rosa from Peggy, eyelash from Marlene, sausage yarn. Would be great to make another stocking with, Krista. Yeah, I agree. I have enough. I have enough to make a stocking with it. Might try that. Yeah, good idea. What would you do? Would you do it all the same color, or would you do the heel toe different thing like I like to do? Because that might kind of look neat. In fact, you know what? I wonder if I definitely have enough to make an entire stocking out of it. Rose, fuzzy beige. Donna was thinking the same thing. Pom-pom from Joyce. Eyelash, 2 strands together might work, says Vicky. It's skinny. It is really skinny. It's like as skinny as a size 1 or 2 weight. So it's definitely would probably work best alongside another yarn. Which case I could just pair it up alongside the beige thick yarn that I've been using for the stocking. So that would work. In fact, I think if I do use the eyelash, I will pair it up with the beige. So in that case, if you're wondering what that means, it would be these 2 held together. So that's kind of what it would look like. Not bad, not bad. It's not really fluffy. Like, it's just like kind of the suggestion. Almost looks like a bit like a threadbare toy. Hello, Kevin. Kevin with a membership milestone. Kevin's been a member for 9 months. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin says, hey, Jayda and Mr. InStitches and everyone. Hey, Kevin. Glad you could be here. So, I think this is row 24, which means I've got 2 more rows left, and then we'll do the hanger, and then we will get down to brass tacks on that cuff choice. It is kind of, it's a tricky choice. Now that I'm thinking about, see, if I use the alternate yarn, the beige that I've been using for the toe and the heel, and then I just pair up the little bit of eyelash with it, it'll look very like unified. It'll look like a very polished, proper looking stocking, which is fine. And I don't mind that, but it kind of lacks some of the playfulness that I was kind of envisioning in my mind, which is kind of why I like the pom-pom yarn. But you know what? I think I'm going to have to do a couple of little crochet samplers real quick with all of it, just to kind of get an idea of how it's going to look. which is another great thing to do. So if you're kind of in the process of working on a little something and you're kind of designing on the fly using what you've got on hand, it's always great to make up a quick little swatch of something. So if you're unsure, you know, pause, grab your contestant yarn and try a little swatch or a sampler and see what you think. It's amazing sometimes how, you know, you might look at one and go, well, maybe. And then you whip up a quick sampler and the one that you were the least sure of ends up becoming the one that you like the most. So we will see if I have that kind of luck today. Amanda says, what does it look like to pair the thin stuff with the light green bulky? Those colors will go well together once with what you've done. So this stuff, good question. Let's find out. It's true. This would, so again, that eyelash is so thin that it does kind of look interesting. I'm not even sure exactly what kind of stitch I'm going to use. It depends, I suppose, on the yarn I wind up working with. I don't know. That's not bad either. That's not bad either. That light green. I'm still on the fence about the light green. I don't know. This is why I talk to you guys. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. One more row. One more row and we will add the hanger. Kevin's working on an ear warmer. Mr. InStitches is in the chat, ho ho hoing. I'd like to second that, ho ho ho. And possibly a bottle of rum. Is that okay to say that this time of year? All right, so this is row 26 of the upper stocking area. Hello, Barbara. Barbara with a membership milestone. Barbara's been a member for 16 months. Thank you so much, Barbara. Says, Merry Christmas to you and Mr. Or Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. It's the end of the year. I think I'm going to put some serious thought into some actual resolutions for next year, both crafting and otherwise. I haven't done that in a while, and I think it might be kind of fun to do that again this year. All right. Quick last check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 26. I have done 26 rows. So my last stitch is in alignment with the corner of my stocking heel. So my heel right here. My last stitch is in alignment with it. I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch and fasten off. So that is the, actually no, I'm not going to do that. I need to put a hanger on and I want to use the whole thing. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to crochet all the way around to the back. So if I fold my stocking in half, I'm going to put my stitch marker. That's the back edge of my stocking. I've marked it with my stitch marker. So ignore what I just said. I'm not slip stitching. I'm going to actually continue single crocheting all the way around. So I'm kind of working half of a row 27. Because why not? I'm going to work all the way around to the stitch marker, which is the middle back of the stocking, and then I'm going to work my hanger in. So that's what I'm doing. So, and what's one more row? How's the lighting? Do I need to turn on some lights and stuff, everybody? Ooh, eggnog. We have eggnog. Okay, so right into here, middle back. Here's the hanger, super difficult. Chain 14. And slip stitch into the same place that you chained out of. There's your hanger. That's pretty sturdy. If you want it to be a little stronger and you still have yarn, you can single crochet all the way around it. So once you've slip stitched to join, if you want to make it a little firmer, you can just slip stitch, or I should say single crochet all the way around it. And you can crochet around the ring and just kind of keep shoving your little stitches back. And do like 20. And that will give you a nice firm hanger. You don't have to do this, it's optional. So about 20. And then same thing, slip stitch into the same place. And that gives you a nice solid hanger. Kind of is nice and bulky, matches the length of it, matches the bulk of the stocking. And I'm going to grab my scissors and snip my yarn and fasten off. Okay, there we go. I'm going to weave that tail in. Lighting's a little dark. Lighting is good, a little dark. Okay, you know what? I can turn on, I've got one here. How's that? Is that a little better? It's a little later in the day and the sun shifts here, so away from this room. How's that? Is that a bit better? It's better for me. I didn't realize it was getting so dark. Yes, okay, great. We'll keep that on. All right, guys, let's make some quick samplers up using all of this yarn, and I can decide how I'm going to do this stocking cuff. I'm just weaving this tail in on the inside edge. And then that'll be the stocking made, and then we can work on the pocket tomorrow or the next day, however this works out, hopefully tomorrow. Okay, so stocking. Let's just put this to the side. And let's see here. So my contestants are, keep my hook, yarn needle, scissors out of the way. These are the contestants. I've got this pretty rose pebbly stuff, looks like little sausage links. I'm calling it sausage links because that's hilarious. I've got popcorn little pom-poms in purple. I've got this bulky lighter green, and I've got this eyelash, which obviously I would need to pair up with either the same beige from the stocking or one of the other yarns. Thinking it might work best with the beige, but that's just what's going on in my brain. So these are the options. I'm going to start with using the same hook and try some quick swatches. So don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but let's see how this crochets. So this is you know what? I might just start this on the, if I do use this, I will probably start it right from a single crochet attached to the edge of the stocking. But I'm just going to chain a few. This is why I don't usually use this stuff. It's made for a very specific hook, but I'm not interested in fishing out a bigger hook. I'm just going to do what I can here. So that's a chain. This is bonkers. So let me see. I'm going to try a little bit of double crochet with it. Okay. Can't really see my stitches, but I don't think that matters much. I'm just going for a bit of a swatch here. It is making kind of a solid, it's less pom-pommy and more of a solid conglomerate of puffs, which is kind of interesting. Like it would look like this basically across the top. Kind of a fluffy conglomerate of puffs. It's a bit I don't know. I mean, I like the fun factor. I like the color. I definitely like the feel. This stuff is so soft. And it's cute. It's cute. I feel like it's got that playful, like little puppy kind of feel to it. So haven't completely ruled it out yet. Let's try the sausage links. Patton's Cobbles. I think they should have called it sausage links. Ooh, this is quite thick. All right, so just a quick little, I'm still using the same hook because I want to, wow, that's thick. I want to be able to use it. So I'm just making big chains manually as opposed to fussing with a bigger hook. That's fun. Let's double crochet with it. Wowzers. Yeah, I've got 3 skeins of this stuff, so I should have enough to make an entire stocking. But I might have to size down the pattern because this is quite large and I would definitely want to use a bigger hook. So let me get a few more stitches in here. Definitely recommend a bigger hook with this stuff. It's very kind of like, feels like I'm crocheting with cotton candy. It's got that kind of consistency to it. Don't ask me why I know what it feels like to crochet with cotton candy. I mean, I can move a little quicker with it than I can with the pom-poms, and I still get kind of an interesting texture with this. I'm not totally, All right, so there's my little sampler. So that's what it looks like. That's very cuff-like, isn't it? That is, oh, the texture. Oh, that's yummy texture. So this would be the cuff. Gosh, that's nice, isn't it? That would be the cuff. Yeah, we need touch-o-vision, Masha. It's so true. That one, oh, that's really nice. That's got texture. It's got a little bit of, it's got some pretty color. It's got, I like that. And that's just plain old double crochet with that big crazy novelty yarn. That is pretty. Okay, so that's another option. So option number 2 already looks better than option number 1. Let's try this gigantic green stuff, which I love so much. Same thing, it's also really, really chonky. So I'm going to do some big chains. And then we're going to do some double crocheting, same thing. So the nice thing about using the super thick, bulky yarn is that basically one row of double crochet or possibly even extended double crochet will give you a nice thick cuff. So this one also has the yummy texture. I really do love this yarn. Like I say, I've been using it to make a lot of fun little Christmas ornaments over the years. Well, I saw it years ago in the store. I think it was discontinued at that time, so they had it on clearance, and I think I bought all of it, all of that what they had. It was very cheap. It was probably like $1 a ball or something, but I really liked the color, and I liked the bizarre kind of thickness of it. Okay, so this is option number 3. Once again, really lovely texture. I like that, and that light switch up, you know what, I could even trim it with the beige. I could even trim it with the beige or attach it with the beige. That would look really nice. So that also has a really nice texture. Let me check in with the chat here. Let's see. So far, okay, we've got, oh. And where's the fluffy conglomerate? So that's the pom-pom. We've got the This is great. I'm really... So, oh, and you know what? Who just said it? Amanda said, I think, I like it, but I think it would look good to work similar color to the pocket for a cohesive look. Same if you use pom-poms. Okay, so Amanda's brought up a great point. Whatever I do for the cuff, and I don't care. I don't care what I do with the cuff. I will be sourcing yarn colors to make my pocket that will somehow make sense with the rest of this stocking. I had originally thought I was going to do this beige and this old-fashioned green and a red and similar kind of tones. But since now I'm looking at bringing in possibly these purples or this rose or this light bright green, I will end up making my pocket in colors that are similar. Like I'll probably try and get, I want to try and use this beige as the background. This is going to be me sniffing around in my own yarn stash trying to find something that'll make sense. But again, I don't mind it being playful and fun because it's a stocking for my puppy. So that's the whole... I'm already... I love this. I love the feel of it, but I already like the look of these two, I think, more than all of this wildness. I think that's just a bit too busy for me. So I think the pom-poms are back into the stash. I'm going to skip on the pom-poms. I still have, however, this eyelash stuff to work with. So let's give the eyelash a go. I'm going to do it in conjunction with the holding the beige that I'm already using in the sock. So let me just get this up and out of the way. And I'm going to do a little sampler with this. I'm seeing pink, rose, pink. Curated likes the green. I like it too. Pom-pom yarn knits up much nicer than crocheting with it. Read it. It's so true. The pom-pom yarn, I think it really was meant for knitting and not crochet. Looks like most people are leaning into the pink. I am too. Let's see what this looks like. So I'm holding that eyelash yarn together with the beige that I've already used thus far. So for those of us who like that super uniform look, this will probably appeal to you. It's got the right color, but also now a little bit of fun because it's the cuff. So let me just whip this up. And what I like to do often when I'm making a cuff for a stocking, especially if I'm making it with a slightly different yarn than I chose for the rest of the stocking, is I'll make the cuff separately and then single crochet it on. And I think I'm going to do that with this, no matter what option we go for. It's a really easy way to make a cuff, and it makes it sit on it properly. There's no turning it down or awkwardness when it comes to it, like to making it actually work as a cuff. Okay, so there's my option with the eyelash yarn. So the eyelash yarn really reminds me of one of those, you know, when you see like a dog that's got like 3 hairs left on its head? That's what that reminds me of. I'm seeing rose. Amanda's leaning into the sausage yarn. She thinks the other one is too green on green. Yeah, you know, hard choice. I like them both too, Catherine. Rose. I'll run a poll. Yeah, run a poll if you can. And Amanda likes the eyelash texture. See, it's pink sausage. Krista makes a good point. Using sausage yarn for a wiener dog does make a lot of sense. Amanda's liking the eyelash yarn. Rose from Masha. Rose from Regina. I like the green from Belle. Eyelash is a bit small. You would have to do more rose. Yeah, it's really thin. So Emily's 2-year-old says rose. That's because Emily's 2-year-old has excellent taste. You know what? I am leaning towards the rose, but I'd like to see what you guys have to say. If Mr. and Stitches can put together a poll, that would be great. I'm just sipping my tea. It's kind of awesome regardless of which one gets chosen, because they're all a fun way to use up some of these novelty yarns. This is so weird, but if I use it in conjunction with a color that's already in the sock, it makes sense. So there's that uniformity. I love that. This pink sausage link yarn creates a fabulous texture, and I really love the pink because it sits exactly opposite this particular shade of green on the color wheel, so it's very attractive. But I also really like the texture and the color of this green because I do like monochromatic projects. I love it when you take a whole bunch of shades of the same color and mix them together. So a little bit of green on green is also attractive to me, and there's nothing saying that I can't give it a little bit of a that beige. I could probably attach it with the beige so that it brings that sort of accent color into the cuff and makes it kind of interesting. So I mean, all three of these perfectly legitimate. We did rule out the pom-poms though, so at least we got that far. I agree, Cheryl. I don't think the eyelash yarn is fuzzy enough. I do like the added fluff, but it's just, it's also very soft. It's very soft. But it's fun. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I really love the texture. All three, it's all about texture here. That's why I kind of dipped into my stash for the novelty yarn. So as soon as we've got like, I don't know, 80 or so votes, mister, we can call it. Krista says, Jayda, can you put a border on that rose with the eyelash yarn? I probably could. I think that might be too much. And I only say that because now I'd be working in I'd be working like I don't think I want to bring a fourth. Well, I don't know. Nah, I think I like it best with this if I'm going to use it at all. I feel like this looks like an extension of this because this color is actually in that accent color I'm using. There's a nice sort of coppery color in here that you see a bit better against the beige than you would against the... I like the rose on its own. I think because these two are so heavily textured on their own, they just sort of like stand on their own. Amanda says you can't go wrong with any of them. Yeah, I like it. We've got... Amanda likes the monochromatic. I like monochromatic. Can you double the eyelash? Says Curated. I probably could. Which might make it a little thicker. If I opt for this one, I might try doubling up the eyelash. Yeah, Barbara makes a good point. The rough rope, the eyelash yarn makes this look like that twine, you know, that splintery twine. It does kind of make it look like that. I don't know. You guys decide. The Mr. InStitches has a poll going. Please cast your vote. Once we've got around 80 votes or so, we'll call it, and I will whip up a cuff. I'm already planning on using the same hook. I'm going to make the cuff, and then I'm probably going to, well, you know what? We'll do it. We'll take it one stitch at a time here. Mailing twine. Is that what it's called, Krista? What was that, sweetheart? Can we see each one individually? Against the top? Yeah. Sure. Okay. So here we go. The green up at the top, stretched out exactly kind of like the way it will look. Nico! Thank you, Nico. Nico has just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Nico. Congratulations to Kelly and Melody, Amber, Beth, and Amy. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the family. Thank you, Nico. Happy holidays, everybody. Okay, so that's the green. Thank you, Nico. There's the sausage link pink. It even rhymes. Sausage link rose. So that's the rose. I think as far as the 3 textures are concerned, this one's my favorite. It just has so much going on. So I kind of like that yarn. And this is the beige, so my accent color that is in the rest of the stocking, but with the eyelash yarn attached. So there you go, all 3. I don't know. I think, like I said, they all kind of have their place. Nico, you're a doll. Thank you so much. So I'll go back to having them here. There we go. So those are the 3 options. Again, that's the accent color. So I'll keep that kind of last call on voting, says Mr. InStitches. I'm going to get the cuff done, and then that'll be the whole stocking finished. And then next live stream, so part 3, we'll be making the pocket. So if you're just making a nice big Christmas stocking, we'll have that done today. So that'll be like a 2-part Christmas stocking. Part 3 will be the actual pocket, because I want to do that with everybody. We need to have the graph available, etc. So that'll be the next live. Okay, here comes the poll. Mr. InStitches is closing the poll. What will Penny's first Christmas stocking be edged with? The pink sausage yarn has won. A wiener yarn for a wiener dog at 49%. Eyelash and the beige at 2nd position. Light green in 3rd. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Okay. Pink sausage links it is. I'm going to put all this aside and I will clean up this mess later. Great. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I want this to be, this is really thick. I think I can get like, here's 1 stitch. 1 stitch is a bit bigger than 1 stitch along the top, but I'm not going to mess with math. I'm just going to go with, okay, so there are 32 stitches around the edge of my stocking. I'm going to chain 33 and double crochet the whole thing. So I'm going to start with a slip knot. Let me just get this guy slightly out of the way. And I'm going to loosely chain. So when I say loosely, I'm going to use the same hook that I've been using, but I'm not crocheting tightly. You see, I kind of pull back on it with every chain. That's to give myself a bit of a looser chain since this is really crazy bulky yarn. I'm going to chain 33. Hello, Tasha. Tasha's been a member for 12 months. Thank you, Tasha. Tasha with a membership milestone says, good afternoon. My son, Victor, wanted to say hi and Merry Christmas. Well, Merry Christmas, Victor. Welcome to the show. All right, so that's 33, and that is going to go all the way around my the top of my stocking, because my stocking is 32 stitches all the way around. I'm ignoring, of course, the hanger. So I start with 33 chains, and I'm going to double crochet into, I'm going to skip the first one, I'm going to double crochet into the 3rd chain. And this stuff is kind of like, it's not the easiest stuff, so this is where you want to feel your way to the next stitch. So you finish a double crochet. I just love this chonky, and then you feel your way to the next stitch, and this way you won't end up shorting yourself. So there's my next one, So when you're working with super bulky textured yarn, just take your time and feel your way along. Feel your way to the next stitch, and then you won't miss any. This is going to make a very nice edge, and now it means that I'm going to be considering, so I was going to do, goodness me, Megan, thank you so much for picking up a pattern. I was originally going to do a like a red and white kind of pocket, but now I'm going to be looking for a rose in my stash of yarn in this color to mix up with a beige for the pocket, which I think will look just peachy. I kind of like mixing this. I like them super, I like Christmas colors that aren't necessarily traditional. I think that looks really neat. And I am pretty sure I have a size 4 medium weight yarn in my stash that's mostly this color. I think I need to turn on another light. Hang on a second, everybody. The light this time of year disappears so fast. Okay. Woof. That's bright and better. So I might be a little bit in my own, I might create a little bit of a shadow, but I think at least we can all sort of still see what's happening here. It really changes the color of everything. But it's okay. We're almost done today. So double crocheting into each stitch all the way back. Using the same hook, and I'm trying to be a little like loose with my tension so that I can make good use of that texture. Catherine's asking what time it is in Canada. We've got 6 time zones, I think. Pacific, Mountain, Central, Eastern, Atlantic, and Newfoundland time. And yes, Newfoundland has its own time zone. For those of you who have never been to Newfoundland, it is really out there in the Atlantic. It is not just off the coast of Canada. It is a long ferry ride to that island. And also, I will say this too. Canada has some chunks of Canada are so far north. I think like we wrap right up into the Arctic Circle, up in Alert. My grandfather was stationed up there for quite a while, and it can get so dark so early in some places just because of how north you are. We're fairly north here, so it gets dark a lot earlier than it might, say, in more southern parts of Canada. I have not been to Alert, Masha, but I would like to get up there at some point. I think it's mostly just a military base, but you can go. Okay, so this is nice and bulky. It's bigger than my sock, but it's the same number of stitches, which is the important part. I'm going to leave some tail once I've come all the way back around, and I'm going to chain 1. Now, do I like the back? Okay, guys, front or back to sit out? Do you like the front? Like, that's the back, I should say. That's the wrong side of the double crochet. That's the right side of the double crochet. What do you like better? So wrong side, right side, or the back side of the double crochets, the front of the double crochets. What do you like better to sort of have facing outwards? Nico likes the wrong side, Catherine likes the right side, Destiny likes the wrong side, Augustus likes the wrong side too. Right, back, wrong, right, right, wrong, right, right. This sounds like a Christmas song. Gee, split right down the middle. I like both. What do I do? I like the wrong or the back side because it's all bubbly and interesting. And I like the right side because you can kind of see the double crochets, like it's a little less bubbly. Golly, golly gee. Yeah, let's do another poll. So, the back double crochet, the back side or the front side? Back, front, back, front. You guys decide.
So back sausage or front sausage?
I really like them all. I like both options. This seems more textury. This seems more bubbly, if that's an accurate description. So the top is, we're looking at the back up top and the front down here. So this is the back, this is the front. Back, front. And I'm just making a couple of notes here. Mr. chooses the sausage. I think we've had the poll go 50-50 before, Catherine. Again, I kind of like both. I don't really care which side gets chosen. That looks extra sort of textury, and this is like you can see more of the fat kind of roundedness of that pebbly yarn, which is kind of, I don't know, it's cool. It's very interesting. So that's that fat, that's the front. And then the back is like, there's more sort of like texture going on. You can close the poll whenever you like, mister. Have a good afternoon, Joanna. Okie dokie. Front side, 60%. Back side, 40%. So front, this is the front, wins with 60% of the chat. Okay, so I'm going to, how am I going to do this? I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to start. So did I single crochet? Okay. I finished. I will chain one, why not? Okay, so I've just, after my last double crochet, I chained one, but I'm not turning. I'm going to lay my cuff down with the right side facing out and the top of the chain 2 right here at the back. And I'm going to get my hook through there. Let's make sure I got my yarn in the right place. There we go. So I'm going to put my hook through there. I'm going to put my hook through here. So you can all see that. I've got my hook through the top of the chain 2 that began the cuff. And I'm going to go nice and tight right around the inside edge of the hanger, and I'm going to single crochet. So that just kind of connects it. I'll get back around to that later. And now I'm going to go into every single stitch. I'm going to pair it up with the next stitch along the top edge of the stocking. And now I'm going to single crochet a little tighter. So I'm not, so next stitch along the cuff, next stitch along the top. And I'm single crocheting. Next stitch, next stitch. It's going to be a little tight, but it's going to look really nice. Next stitch, next stitch. Most importantly, it's the same number of stitches, so it will pair up. And I like the super bulk of this. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This really is like crocheting with cotton candy. This is so funny. All right, so that's how it's looking so far. That is a proper thick looking cuff. So the cuff part hangs down and then that nice join of single crochet sits up on top. And you just kind of work away with it, making sure you have the next stitch on both the cuff and the stocking, just so you don't miss anything. Nico. I don't know what's going on in the chat. Hi, Crochet Crazy. Hello, everybody. If you're just joining us, I am just adding the cuff to the pet Christmas stocking that we started yesterday. Part 1, yesterday's live stream, is in the description box down below. This was part 2. We had it a little later today. Hopefully we will be having part 3 tomorrow. We will keep you posted and we will do our best to have it at the regular time of 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern, because obviously that is the best lighting. It's a little dark here, but I mean, most of you, if you were here, you kind of were able to see where we started from. So I hope it's not too dark for you. Trying to keep my head out of my own light. And I'm getting around to the edge. We're going to leave a little tail after all this sewing, or I should say single crochet, so I can just quickly sew up the little seam. Oh, this is quite fun. Couple more stitches left here. The last 2, and that's the last one, and that goes right in here, right next to. Okay, so that is that. Then you want to just join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet you made, just like you would any old kind of bit of sewing, or I should say crochet. Leave a tail. In this case, I'm going to leave a longer tail because this is really bulky yarn. And I want to sew up this little edge here. So I'm going to bring this. Will this even fit inside this yarn needle? It should. Yes, it does. All right. So I'm going to bring this down to the other side. And then I'm going to flip up the edge so that I'm doing some sewing on the bottom edge or the inside edge of the cuff. And I mean, this needs like 3 stitches. It really doesn't need much, especially given how thick this is. Got to be nice and careful. Try to make sure you're getting underneath. When you're using novelty yarn, you've got to be a little gentler when you try to sew, because you've got to try and get the actual needle through the yarn and not like split the yarn. And through that. There we go. Okay. That's the knotted short tail that I started with. I'm going to knot these together. Why not? And then I will weave in the tails. Again, if I have the opportunity to knot a couple ends together, I do. I will definitely not be saving all of this tail, but I'm going to weave a little bit of it in underneath. I don't think this is the kind that is going to want to come undone. Look how difficult a time I'm having just getting it to weave in the first place. So if I get it woven in underneath a couple of stitches, then I'm not too worried about it wanting to unweave itself later on down the road. So I think that's enough. And then I'm going to do the other side. So again, and this is the underside. Sharon has finally made it to the live chat. Hi, Sharon. And I'll go through here. I'm trying, you know what? I think I might have a bigger needle. Let's see what I've got here. Yeah, this one's a little bit bigger. Got to bring out the industrial needle for this one. So I'm going to get under here. There we go. That's a little better. Yes, yes, okay. All right, while I'm weaving in, we're going to just wrap things up for everybody. I'm going to include more of the notes. I had some notes in the description box on yesterday's live stream. I'll make sure that any applicable notes are in the description box for this one. I will post information on the part 3 live stream tomorrow, whether we're doing it tomorrow or the next day, which would be Friday. I'll let you guys know. And so look forward to that. Keep an eye on the community tab. And family members, I'm going to include more. I'm going to give you guys another post later on this afternoon with additional pattern info for the cuff and stuff, just to let you know what I did. This looks lovely. So I don't even think I can get the whole thing on in the camera, but toe, heel, upper, and that lovely big chonky cuff, it just, oh, that really sets it off. And of course it looks nice and neat from the inside because we make the cuff and then we crochet it on. So there's no seam, there's very little sewing. You're just sewing up one little tiny seam back here, and it works around the hanger. So it's the cuff sits on the outside of the hanger. I really like that. I'm going to get a better shot of this later in some better lighting, maybe even tomorrow, and I'll post it so you can see the proper colorway. But I think that looks peachy keen. Quite pleased with the way that worked out. Okay, so the stocking itself completed. Now I just need to make the pocket. This will obviously be sized down somewhat because I'm going to use a smaller hook and a single strand of medium weight yarn to make the pocket, but we'll touch on that in more detail in part 3. From top to bottom, so full length, 44 centimeters or 17.5 inches. That is a mighty fine that is a mighty fine Christmas stocking for a tiny puppy. I think my dog would completely fit in this. I'm not even sure she's 17 inches long yet, but the amount of food she eats wouldn't fit in this. I can tell you that much. I love it. I think it looks great. I will get a full shot of it, full photograph, so I can post something a little better in better lighting so you can really see and can appreciate that green and that rose. I really love the way that worked out. So thanks you guys for choosing that for me. That looks really, really nice. I love this textured, thick, fun novelty yarn cuff. That makes it much more interesting. It makes it kind of pretty to hang there. I like my big hanger too. And all that's left now is the treat pocket. We have to have a treat pocket. It is a pet stocking. And we will know it's a pet stocking because that treat pocket will have a paw print on it. And that is coming in our next live stream, part 3 of this pet stocking. We will keep you posted. So thank you guys so much for joining us on a Wednesday afternoon and sticking with us as the lights went low and the sun set itself in the, where's the sun rise? Sun rises in the east, sets in the west. It's set in the west. So thank you guys so much. We will see you hopefully tomorrow. We will keep you posted. Keep an eye on the community tab. Keep an eye for fun posts. More coming this afternoon and possibly another one in the morning. And we'll see you soon. Take care. Have a safe and crafty evening. Bye, guys.